She once said, "You have to have inner strength. Otherwise you lose your identity. You don't know who you are." You know, there are some people in this world who don't just appear on screen, they inhabit it. They don't act a scene, they become it. And Claudia Cardinale? She was exactly that kind of person. Born on April 15, 1938 in Tunis, Tunisia. Not in Rome, not in Milan, but in North Africa to a Sicilian family who had traveled far from home in search of a better life. And honestly, that detail alone tells you so much about who she was. Because Claudia Cardinale spent her entire life existing between worlds. Between cultures. Between languages. Between who the world wanted her to be, and who she truly was. Now here's the part that still gets me. She didn't walk into the film industry. She was pulled into it. In 1957, almost by accident, she won a beauty pageant she hadn't even signed up for. The prize? A trip to the Venice Film Festival. And the moment she walked into that room, the cameras couldn't look away. Filmmakers couldn't look away. Nobody could. But here's what I personally believe, and this is important. Her beauty was never really the story. It was the door. The real story was what walked through that door. A woman with volcanic screen presence, genuine dramatic range, and an inner strength that very few actresses of any generation have ever matched. By 1963, just think about this, she was shooting two masterpieces simultaneously. Visconti's The Leopard during the day, and Fellini's 8.5 on other days. And she once described it beautifully. Visconti was precise and meticulous. Fellini was chaotic and didn't have a script. Those were the two most important films of my life. Two of the greatest directors in cinema history both wanting her at the same time. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens because you are irreplaceable. And she proved that again and again. Whether it was Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West, where that opening shot of her stepping off a train became one of cinema's most unforgettable images, or Herzog's Fitzcarraldo, deep in the Amazon jungle holding her own against Klaus Kinski of all people. The woman had range. What I find most admirable about her, beyond the films, beyond the glamour, is that she refused to be owned. By Hollywood. By producers. By the industry's idea of what a woman should be. She once said, "Mystery is very important." And she meant it. She never chased scandal. She never sold herself short. She protected her identity in a world that constantly tried to define it for her. And later in life she even gave powerful advice to young actresses. Never take on a role that will hurt you or make you sell out. Refuse any form of professional blackmail. Yes, you need to fight. She was also a UNESCO ambassador for women's rights for over 2 decades. She spoke 5 languages. She came from nothing and she built everything.